Hail Baruch Levi, be here from Soul Centered and the Defiant Spirit. Thank you for tuning in. I want to just share with you some thoughts at the um, end of this week. Crazy week. It was very full for me of guiding lots of wonderful different types of people. Now that I'm in the space of using both my logotherapy, the work of Viktor Frankl, counseling, along with the Enneagram, I've sort of attracted a very diverse following of, on the one side, personal counseling and coaching and therapy with individuals, and on the other side, much more executive coaching, working in businesses and organizations. And so really just two different kind of worldviews and experiences. And yet I find so much of it is just the same conversation, happens to be in different contexts. And this week, there seemed to be a lot around people's realization and even my continued admiration for the Enneagram. If you don't know the Enneagram, it's a thing behind me, 9 basic personality types, and utilizing it in my program called Defy Your Number. Um, that it takes some of the pressure off of us. I had a couples counseling conversation, that's a lot of C's, this week. And when we shifted away from you versus me to our Enneagram type, our wiring, right? It diffuses the situation quite a bit. Ariella and I did a podcast. If you haven't heard it, a few weeks ago, you can listen to it. Just jump over to defiantspirit.org/podcast. And we talked, I think, quite a bit about this. The Enneagram, although she's not, that passionate about it, but it's really become part of her language too, in communicating with me and describing, what she's feeling. We put this now on a system. We can put it on her Enneagram 4. It goes like this through these situations. My Enneagram 8 is really wired in this way. And so it just depersonalizes it. And it's amazing. It makes it more palatable. The same message is no longer an attack as much as a description of an operating system that just wasn't built that way. I mean, would you get mad if you're trying to download a PC, platform onto your Mac and it doesn't work? I mean, you might be frustrated, but you'd be kind of an idiot to, throw the computer out the window because it's not working. It wasn't built that way. Now, I do believe we can modify our operating system. I just don't think we can change it. People ask me all the time, B, can I change my Enneagram type? Does it change over time? It just doesn't. I mean, I think we want to believe that we can do anything and we can change anything. No matter how hard I try, I'll never play in the NBA. I am too short and I am too old. It just ain't going to happen. So there are things that we cannot do, that we cannot become. I don't think we should. I think our operating system has been given to us or been acquired for a particular reason, and it suits us. The thing with, at least my understanding of the Enneagram and my Defy Your Number program is you don't have to change your Enneagram type. You just have to master it. Then you can stop reacting as an 8 or as a 2 or as a 5 or as a 9, and you can start responding in the high side of that. And you have access to all these numbers, all these strategies of living. So working with this couple, it just brought down the tension. It brought down the attack. It made it more, they each became more compassionate in their understanding of one another. Shift over to a conversation I had with the Enneagram and somebody around parenting, and just talking about how frustrated they were with their kid. And, their kid is an Enneagram 1, a perfectionist reformer type. And they're just so narrow and tense. And so we really stop talking about the kid that way. And we start talking about the operating system, the wiring, the strategies, starting to get to the compassion underneath that, because this is a child that had some trauma early in his life and, went through physical health issues. And I think part of why that young man is a 1 is because order and structure sort of brings down the anxiety, and the parents started to have more compassion, started to see it a little bit less neurotic, a little bit less controlling from a survival strategy. And now we're working to help that young man stop surviving and start thriving, because what served him earlier to survive, to get that structure and that order, that doesn't serve him anymore. It's really crushing his relationship with his siblings and his parents and the people around him. And so talking about it from the language of the Enneagram 1 has helped the parent find more compassion, come up with new strategies, see it in a completely different light, shift over to the business space. Had multiple conversations this week with a couple different companies I'm working with around glass ceilings in their companies. Each one had a different glass ceiling for different reasons, but the certain types in the organization, the company, aren't able to sort of penetrate that glass ceiling. And what we talked about was the 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 hiring process wasn't targeting the right people, wasn't communicating the right message, wasn't in alignment with what they really wanted. And so now we're using the Enneagram to get alignment in this business so that their mission is really in alignment with the people they're trying to hire. I was talking to one individual who's being pushed into a role that isn't their Enneagram type. They're being asked to go open up new territory in a new market, which is a pioneering energy. You might want an Enneagram 7 as an example, the enthusiast, or an 8, the challenger that's going to kind of push through barriers, or 7's going to just enjoy the freedom, or maybe you want an Enneagram um, I don't know, 3 who's going to see this as an achievement, but this was a 9. This is a peacemaker. This is not a mover and shaker. This is not a salesperson. I haven't met any 9s who really, I'm not saying they can't do sales, but I am saying that if they are doing it, it's probably not their superpower. 9s don't like, certainly, to pave new trails. They don't want to blaze the way. They want to, be in a supporting role. Doesn't mean they can't lead. They can be some great leaders. Ronald Reagan and Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, all 9s. But if you ask a 9 to get into conflict head on, or to go it alone out in the unknown with all of the arrows they're going to have to take, I don't know. I don't see it happening. Well, it certainly wasn't happening for this person. And yet they keep trying to promote the wrong Enneagram type into these positions. And so we're working on getting alignment from top down, from the vision to the mission, to the hiring process, to the promotion process, to the development process. And we're using the Enneagram as a way to take it off of personalities. Joe just can't do that, or Susan, is acting this way. When you can start using the Enneagram, it doesn't excuse, look, Ariella and I, it doesn't excuse when I'm an 8-hole, right? And she's pissed off because I'm just an angry 8-hole. It explains it, and it's a starting point so she can communicate to me saying, you're being an 8-hole because this, and the Enneagram, blah, 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 blah. And I don't hear it as Baruch be you. I hear it as, oh yeah, that's right. I'm in my reaction. I'm not in my response. I can stop reacting. I can start responding. And so using that as a pathway back to level playing field, again, doesn't excuse it. It does explain it. And it does make it possible for me to make some changes, or for them to change the hiring practices, or for the parent to do a, kind of a 180 on parenting, or for the couple to diffuse the situation, or for you and whatever you're going through. I can't say it strongly enough. This system is masterful. It has been around for thousands of years. It has withstood the test of time. It is universal truths. It is spiritual. It is psychological. It is practical. It is actionable. And I promise you, if you engage the Enneagram, the authentic Enneagram, not some of the crap out there, not the freebies, right? Not the simple versions. There's some other great ones out there, but I do offer a great one. I am so proud of the Defy Your Number Enneagram system that I've spent the past couple of years developing, and I am so proud to be able to offer it to you. Right now, I am getting up onto the website a new complimentary ebook I have called 9 Enneagram Numbers Walk into a Bar. And it's a 15-page ebook that introduces you to each type in a fun way, but a meaningful way. If you want that, keep checking over at defiantspirit.org, but shoot me an email, BARUCH at defiantspirit.org, and I'll send it right over to you right away. But by next week's, hopefully, or the time you're watching this, you'll be able to just go click a button and get that complimentary download, and then check out the Defy Your Number program, and we can talk about how to get you going as you learn how to defy your number and live your spirit. And this is just one more way the Enneagram can be transformative. Until then, defy your number and live your spirit.